The Imperial Court is in chaos, Sima Yue. At every turn, your kin turn on one another.
They forget their place and their loyalty. I must calm this turbulent ocean.
Sima Ti, to the southwest, has taken up arms against you, and so too the dynasty.
He may be my kin, but treason cannot be endured. The Jin demands justice.
Your position is strong, with potential friends to the south. But you must move soon. The Emperor must be defended.
And so I shall. Once the traitors are defeated, I shall march west to safeguard the Imperial Court, if I must. I will guard the Emperor myself.
You are more than capable, Sima Yue. Defeat this treachery, then oversee the realm.
Hello, Monsters Abound here in a brand new campaign in Total War 3 Kingdoms with the brand new DLC out tomorrow, 8 Princes. I am playing as Sima Yue over there, but we'll get to him in a minute. So, the 8 Princes period of Chinese history is not one I'm particularly well versed in, but from what I've made out in the short amount of time that I've been reading about it, Cao Pi, Cao Cao's son and heir, becomes Emperor of China at the end of the 3 Kingdoms period. Cao Cao wins it, but his chief advisor, Sima Yue, usurps the throne and establishes his own dynasty, the Jin dynasty. I mean, seriously, guys, never trust your advisors. Wormtongue, Jafar, when has trusting your advisors ever gone well? Sima Yue rules, and the 8 princes are his sons, grandsons, nephews, and great-nephews. Things go wrong when the newly crowned emperor turns out to have educational difficulties, learning difficulties, and his wife is a very strong character who wants power for herself. So things go a pit to pot, and the Sima family end up having a big old ruck, like what happened at your cousin Tracy's wedding, when their Kevin said our Sarah was up to you-know-what in the pub in town, and before long, rotund uncles on both sides have taken off their shirts and are rolling about in the mud while the bride wails that her wedding is ruined. So like that, but with China, obviously. So, Sima Yue is who we're playing as, and it's this guy down here. Exactly. So we've got a mission already: destroy the traitors. I mean, why wouldn't we destroy traitors? Am I right? So the Imperial Court is threatened. Sima Yue, sorry, both from external forces. It doesn't. I'm still trying to understand like the pronunciation. So that's to me that would say you, but that's not. It's Ray. Both from external forces and internal corruption. The princes of Jin are begin to devour themselves. Begin to devour themselves in the quest for power. Literally unplayable. But you stand ready to defend the Emperor directly. Yet, before you can aid him, you must remove this dire threat before you crush this army swiftly. Okay, so we need to kill Luluban. He is right in front of us there. Of course, he's our first target. We'll get 3 might alignment and treasure. So what alignments? If we close that down. So the alignments are over here. So we can see that we currently have no effects. So there's 4 different ones: spirit, mind, might, and wealth. So wealth obviously income, might is campaign movement range, mind is research rate, and spirit is diplomatic relations. And basically you can increase these in a number of different ways. I don't know if you can decrease them as well. I wouldn't be surprised. What I found with Sima Yue is it's good to maybe go with the... Let's just straighten the map. That's better. It's best to go, in my opinion, with wealth to start off with, because you get quite a few different ways of getting more wealth. So let's have a look at... I won't. So there's Sima Yue there. He's what a hat. I love this hat. That's mostly the reason I went for him. The other reason, he's actually probably one of the he's probably one of the strongest early combatants. So he starts off with an ancient silver sword, which is the same weapon that Sun Jian starts with. So already quite a good weapon. It's pretty good. You also start off with zeal. So your military stats to start off with are pretty good, which means you'll pretty much be able to take on anyone toe to toe in the early game. Pretty easy. what did we get? So we've got a cryptographer, stone pig, herdsman, and an officer. Okay, fair enough. So let's have a quick look at what Sima Yue actually does for us. So, playstyle, politics, internal government. Who doesn't love politics? Right? Just, it's the best. That's why everyone loved all those politics bits in the Star Wars prequels. Decreases construction cost, increases research rate. Influence is gained through special assignments. Influence decreases with defeat in battle, and influence declares over time. So influence is our special stat. So there we go. We can see it there. Influence currently, we've actually got more construction costs, less research rates, more building upkeep, and more corruption. However, as it goes up, things start to get a little bit better. And you can see we actually get some mind alignment per turn, less construction costs, more research rate, less building upkeep, and less corruption. So all pretty good. We also have a couple of special units. So we get the Sioux Raiders, I want to say, and Warriors of Sioux, I think is how you say that. So these guys are assault infantry. They are pretty good. They also come with
this land is bustling with people. No doubt a gift to trade here.
Absolutely. Can't disagree with you there. So these guys also have the Raider trait, which means they will burn buildings near them, which is pretty good. We have an upgraded labour building, which reduces the construction cost of all buildings. I'm not sure entirely how useful that is, but we also got a military assignment and a provincial advisor. So that's two different court positions that we potentially will get once we get the rank of Prince and Grand Prince, respectively. If we have a look at who we currently have in our court, we've got Sima P here. So he's our factionaire. There's Sima Yue. He's married to Princess P, who is over here. She is insightful survivalist. Look at that. 30, 40, 20. And actually, pretty much a shoo-in for becoming our advisor early on. I know I said don't trust your advisors, but obviously you can trust your wife, can't you? So in that position, it's going to give faction-wide 10 satisfaction, +1 starting rank for all recruits, and +15 income from peasantry, which is quite nice. It's also going to give us +1 wealth alignment per turn. So almost, it makes sense to put her there, which means we're just going to slowly tick up on our wealth almost immediately. So that's pretty useful. So we start off with Sima Yue over there, and can we... Who we got? That's own army. Okay, that's Wedge. These are just militia, aren't they? So they don't have any... Can these guys have... Like, if I give you that, they're going to have... Oh, the Sioux Raiders will have circle. I mean, it's better than nothing, isn't it? And Stone Pig. I mean, I feel like giving... Like, you are quite killy, so we'll go with that. We've also got Heelun over here, a loyal officer, so 20 expertise, 20 resolve, and 40 authority. So he gets extra resilience, attrition from military supply shortages, plus 25% general's aura of influence, and 20% campaign movement range. Plus, he also increases retinue upkeep, so good work there, but only if he is our advisor, which he is not. Also, plus 25 charge speed. So he is a potential other option for being an advisor, but I think Princess P is probably just the better option, so we'll do that. So currently we don't start off with a big army, but it's certainly enough to deal with the opposing force of Lu Luban over there. So let's go and murder his face in the first battle of the campaign. Now it says obviously this is going to be a pretty easy fight, but we're going to fight it anyway because it's the first battle of the campaign and you always have to fight the first battle. Ah, it's nice to be back in Three Kingdoms. Ah, love it. And apparently our uniform is all white. Now that is, I mean, it's a brave choice. I hope they're using some really good detergent because that's going to take, you're going to get dusty, plus blood. I mean, just blood everywhere. Can you imagine? It'd be a nightmare. Ideally, you want black because that'll hide the blood stains. And it'll be easy to wash, I feel like. So going white, very, very brave choice. Sima Yue, he's just so brave. Here's Heelun leading the cavalry on our flank. And let's have a look at Sima Yue. There he is, his jaunty headpiece looking absolutely, glorious. What a guy. What a legend. What a dappled white horse. So the enemy army is, I'm going to be honest, pathetic. It's just a couple of archers, a couple of saber militia. It's absolutely nothing to be concerned about. There's Lu. He really wants to duel He Lun, but he doesn't want to duel Sima Yue because Sima Yue would just wreck his face, basically. Our cavalry is going to advance, and the enemy archers are going to take pot shots at them. However, for two reasons, that's not going to go very well. The first is these guys have 65% missile resistance, and second of all is we're going to drop the stone bulwark on them, which means they've now got 100% ranged block chance, so they are literally immune to archer fire. The archers immediately switch tracked to attack the axe band, but our archers are now in range and can open fire on them. Our cavalry is also moving around behind the enemy army, which is going to make those archers run for their lives, so they're getting peppered with arrows and also legging it. Sima Yue is getting stuck in. There's He Lun as well. Apparently He Lun is telling Lu he's too pathetic to be left alive. Bit harsh. Cavalry now moving in behind. This is going to be an absolute slaughter. In comes the axe infantry. It's absolute carnage. We're going to buff up our infantry. One of our special traits is that we get more melee evasion for infantry, which means this axe band currently have 76% melee evasion, which is pretty good. And these guys, as it faded, basically our infantry, our axe infantry particularly, is pretty bloody good. So yeah, so by themselves 26% melee evasion, that's pretty good. The enemy general's running for his life, his army's dead, and we're done here. Very nice easy fight, just to slide us into the campaign. Very nice.
Picture victory, and it will be yours.
Exactly. Now, oh, we did capture him. Awesome. Okay, so he's formidable. Okay, composed, honourable. I mean, he's not a bad character, but I think I want the money, so we're just going to release him.
Free them all.
And I'm also going to ransom.
Unjust to punish them with purpose.
So we've completed destroy the traitors. We've got 3 might alignments. So if we have a look there, we can see we're now currently 3 out of 20. And attack the force. No, that's not more. So we got, you know, good chunk of money from there. Ah, it's the Empress. So this is the Empress, who is basically causing all the trouble. So the Empress demands the traitors be crushed. The Emperor has decreed Wei Guan and Sima Liang, formerly regents of the realm, are traitors and to be arrested. You have been tasked by the Empress with dealing with their nearby allies. Yet how vigorously do you pursue them? So we can invest in infrastructure, so we'll get a mission to build, and we'll get 10 mind alignment. We can raise forces, raise troops, and we'll get spirit alignment. We can build our reserves, so gather money and get some wealth, or we can crush the opposition and get a mission to conquer, and plus 10 might alignment. Now, because we're getting our wealth up, what we're going to do is we're going to go and build our reserves. So that's going to give us the mission of gather money. So you'll need reserves if the war is coming, and so you begin those preparations. So we will get a new quest, so we cancel that one. There we go. Raise funds. The Empress' reply is curt as it is definitive. It's only fair that each must pay however they can, with whatever means they can. Regardless of the method, however, I do expect you to deliver. So at the start of your turn, have a treasury of 4,500. You will receive a dilemma, allowing you to spend the money in return for various effects, and will get plus 5 wealth alignment. Now currently, we're at 10 wealth alignment, so that's pretty good. So pretty happy with that.
I shall not waver.
Let's head for this farmland over here, and we will, I think, just delegate that because it should be fairly straightforward to take it.
Righteousness won today.
That seems to have gone fairly well. We will occupy.
It is ours by right.
So our opponent is Sima Yue over here. He currently has 1 army. So he's got a vanguard. He's got himself there. What is he? A scout. Okay, he's got a couple of swords, a couple of lance cavalry. They could be quite nasty. Some mounted saber militia and some saber. Okay, so it's not too bad. we're not going to be healing up very, very quickly. Now, I want to make sure we have 1,004. I mean, we're close. If we start next turn with 4,500, we'll complete our quest. So what I think I'm going to do is let's do some diplomacy. So, who will give us a quick deal for a trade agreement? So, we've got some options here. Sima Yue, Sima Yue, Su Yingmin, Xu Shang. What's that? Sima Jian and Wei. Now, Wei Guan is one of the potential enemies because it's him and Sima Liang who are being decreed as traitors. So I think maybe we want to secure our southern border. So Sima Jian here could potentially be a good option. So let's negotiate.
Excellent. Top.
So we'll get 333 for our trade agreement, but we can maybe get some more money off him. So let's say we request a payment. It doesn't have to be very much, but the more money we get, the better. So we'll just carry on. Something like that is fine.
Your proposal is sound.
Thank you. Off you go. Right. So that means next turn we should complete our mission, assuming we don't spend any money. Now I could do some recruiting, but that would spend some of our money. I think what I want to do is we've got an assignment, and considering that I do eventually, no, we're not making much money here at the moment. Most of our income is currently coming from the family estates, which is the background income. Currently taxation is making 302, which is not as much as our trade. So we need to build up a settlement. So let's go with supervised construction. So Princess P, we're going to supervise construction because that's going to reduce the construction cost by 10%, construction time by 1, and reduce upkeep as well. So that sounds pretty good. So we'll do that. We'll send her off to go and do that, and she will, and that'll be fine. And then we're just going to leave it. Now, we have research. Now, as you can see, the research tree has changed somewhat. It's no longer the big tree. And actually, as much as I love the tree, it can be a bit confusing as to what you're researching. And it's so large that it can take sort of 30-40 turns before you actually get where you want to go, and that's just down one branch. So it's kind of been simplified a bit, and I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'm not 100%. It certainly makes it easier to get the things you want to, let's put it that way. So we're going to start off by getting the Darquin emissaries. Darquin, those people beyond China's borders, are purveyors of wealth and knowledge, if we have but the patience to listen. The Silk Road carries foreign envoys back from distant lands, and with them comes enlightenment. We'll get plus 20% trade influence, and more importantly, we'll get another trade agreement, which of course, as you can see, trade agreement has basically doubled our money that we're making. Well, it's doubled the money we're making that isn't background income. So another trade agreement would be double good. So we'll grab that first. It's going to take 7 turns, but we've currently got a bit of a deficit to research because of our influence, but that will be going up. Now I think I don't know if this guy will attack. He can't reach us. He might head for his town over here. If he does, that could be potentially problematic. But I prefer, I think, to complete the quest now that we've got a big surplus of money. So let's just end the turn. Of course, the nice thing about Three Kingdoms is the turns are really quick, which is nice. Okay, so he's headed for his town. Now that's fine. So we should have over... Yeah, there we go, 5,000. So we've completed the mission. So, some time ago, well, I mean, last turn, you gave the Empress your word that you would sequester funds for the war effort. She comes to you now demanding that money be delivered in full. How do you answer her demand? So we can give what was asked. That's going to give us 5 spirit alignment, and it's going to reduce our treasury by 2,000, but we'll be in favour. So we'll get diplomatic relations with the Jin Empire. Now, the Jin Empire, you might be thinking of like the Han Empire faction in Three Kingdoms. The Jin Empire are a lot stronger. So being on their good side is very useful. However, I think we're only going to give some of what was asked, because that's going to give +5 wealth alignment and some treasure. Now, it's going to reduce our treasury by 1,000, which is half of what we'd give if we gave her everything. So if we have a look at our wealth, we can see we're currently at 16 out of 20, which means if we get this, we'll also get +5% income from all sources and only lose 1,000 of our monies. Now that means we can then upgrade Donghai, which will be very useful. So that will give some of what was asked. You can only offer what you are able. The Empress will have to make do. Yeah, it's not very happy with that. So if we have a look here, we can see that currently it would cost 4,000 to build this, which we've got just over 4,000. So we're going to build that. We can only afford that because of the assignment that we've got Princess P on, because otherwise that would be, what, 4,400? So we wouldn't be able to afford it. And that does mean we can't recruit any units this turn, and we are at slight threat of them attacking us. But to be honest, they haven't recruited any more units. Even if they did, it would take time to muster. So I'm not overly concerned. I think we're fairly strong anyway at the moment, and it'll give us time to heal up. So I am okay with that. So is there anything left to do? Could we do any, like, non-aggression packs? So, Sima Yue over there, we could potentially...
How can we help each other?
I mean, we could... You know what? Let's just get a non-aggression pact with them, because it's just in case. And Sima Yue, who is to my north, we could do the same there. So let's just do that. And that will just keep people off our back while we deal with the main threat, which is it's not down here. Now we've got some peeps that have come to potentially work for us. Now I would actually really like a strategist. Now we don't have a strategist, but what you might notice is that some armors are far more likely to turn up. So you can see some of these guys have actually got silver armor. There's more silver armor there, and there are new and different armor types. And in fact, you start off with some different armors. So we can see here we've got Rangers outfits, we've got Adepts, armor of the Adepts. And what's he currently? He's currently wearing armor of the Adept, but we've actually got a spare one should we need it. Now it just increases authority and reduces. So I mean, theoretically, we could maybe. So he's got 25 melee evasion. If I do that, he gets 30. I actually think that might be the better option. That's going to give you more expertise. I mean, I could just give you the axe. It doesn't do a lot of damage though, does it? I think maybe just a sword is better, to be honest. I think that's probably the better option. Okay, so we spent all our money. Bit of a shame, but never mind. I mean, we could maybe sell something. To be honest, I don't think that's probably going to be that useful. What I have found is that the AI does tend to have more items, which does mean you can actually buy things off them more regularly. So unlike Three Kingdoms, where you literally can never find anything for sale from the AI factions, because I don't know what they do with it, but they seem to equip it or hide it. I don't know, but they seem to get rid of it somehow. So there's literally never anything to buy off them unless it's like turn 1 before they've equipped it. So it's nice to see that you can actually do some trades with the AI faction. So we've got the road to the capital. The opening stages of this conflict are done. Sima Yue and you have endured it with grace. Now you must look to continue pressing your advantage if the Emperor is to be defended. However, be wary of the other princes who will attempt to stop you by any means, military or otherwise. Greed corrupts the very heart of the court, and you must be on your guard for it. So capturing the imperial capital, Luoyang, it's a crucial step to securing your power. You are free to make the attempt at any time, but be careful. Doing so without sufficient authority might have unintended consequences. Building your prestige is the most certain way to prove that you are fit to lead China, but there may be other hidden ways. Ooh. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay, cool. Right, so we're building up our city. That's fine. Happy with that. I'm tempted maybe just to save for another turn. Ah, we got Sima Yue there. Let's have a look at who are you? You don't like anyone. Who are you? What do you do? Can we see what you are? So you are distinguished, indecisive, greedy. Right. Gonna be honest, mate. Your CV looks absolutely appalling. So I think I'm just gonna skip the turn. It doesn't look like they're recruiting, so I don't think they've got the money to. I think they're a bit stuffed. So, Sima Yue ensures stability. It is time that people's potential was turned into great structures that glorify Chinese culture. Sima Yue, you are known as a talented overseer. If you were to administrate the construction of the workers across the land, the people in the court would surely take note. Construct 3 buildings is going to give us 5 wealth, 5 mind, and more money. That's good, and considering that's what we're already kind of doing, that's fine. Right, so we've only got the one strategist in our court, and frankly he is awful, so we're not going to take him. Who do we have? I'm kind of tempted to take, is it Shishu? Shishu is sincere, he's direct, and he's gracious. I mean, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? He comes with forest skin, good stuff, a brown horse, and a spear. Okay, let's grab him.
Not its oppressive warlords.
Let's grab some more archers. And this isn't an ideal army, but it's the one we've got. And it's the one that's going to let us take the enemy town. So we've recruited him, that's fine. So we're all good. We've spent all of our money and we just need 2 turns to upgrade our building. That will give us an extra building slot as well. And then we can upgrade that. I'm probably going to sort of focus on getting some peasant income. So the Jin Empire declares war on Sima Liang, and so this guy here, poor chap, he dies pretty early generally. The Empress demands retribution. One of your more error-prone retainers has unintentionally offended the Empress. Oh, Shishu, already? Come on, mate. Let's, fuck's sake. She now demands a formal, grovelling apology, yet your comrade insists they did nothing to warrant such a thing. You could apologise in their place or reject her demands. Right. Now, our wealth is currently 24. We don't really have any... So, I mean, we could maybe compensate her. It will give us some extra wealth, and... I mean, we can afford it. Let's compensate her. The Empress can surely be appeased in other ways, ensuring the apology you simply paid to make the problem go away. Yep. Okay, now we just need to wait for these units to muster. That shouldn't take too long. Hopefully, what character we've got? More sentinels, apparently. There is more chance of getting ladies in your court, which obviously makes marrying people a lot easier. It did turn out in 3 Kingdoms in the base game, it sometimes was a bit of a chore to actually find ladies to marry your errant sons occasionally, but that is less of an issue. Ooh, what have you got? Unyielding scale mail. Holy shit. Who's not a happy bunny? Someone's grumpy. Is it you? 20. Look. Can I give you someone who'll cheer you up? No. Okay, if I get rid of this, then I can give that to you. That'll make you a little bit happier. Right, okay. That's something. I think we just need to wait another turn. I mean, we could maybe see if we can get him in an ambush. Let's just see if we can get an ambush. Likelihood is it won't work, but he might see the farmland and go for it. So that could potentially be an option. Now we've got building slot. I'm going to go for land development. Now, one of the interesting things is that they've changed public order. Public order is no longer the peasants' public order. It's the nobles, because this conflict was mostly between nobles. So it's not the same buildings that increase your public order as in 3 Kingdoms. Also, population doesn't have effect on your public order, which is good, because 3 Kingdoms, it did turn out that, like, building an imperial city, it wasn't really worth it, because once you got an imperial city, actually keeping the public order under control wasn't really worth the effort. It wasn't worth getting any building, I think, city higher than, yeah, the regional city, because that way you had the maximum building slots and it wasn't using too much food. Whereas if you went, the more people you had in your city after that, the more public... Basically, you just had to use your building slots to then keep your public order under control, which meant that you couldn't then make the money that you would from not having the public order buildings. So they've changed it around now. It's now noble support, which means that the population doesn't have an effect on it, which is good. And different buildings have different effects. So you can see the land surveying office here, it actually increases noble support. And buildings like the Confucian temples no longer increase public order, but actually increase income from all sources and research rate. So it's worth just keeping it up, because you can't build Confucian temples to fix your public order. You need to build sort of economy buildings, which are going to make the nobles richer. Seems to be how it works. So let's end the turn again.
We would not be your enemy.
Would you not? Whoa. You want me to pay you money every turn? Are you shitting me? No, of course not, Jin Empire. I mean, you actually quite like me at the moment, so I'm just going to reject.
Very well.
Get lost. Asking me for money. Just because I've got lots of wealth alignments. So, next...
Ooh. Forest outstrips bragging warlords.
Yeah, that's true. So, the next rank of wealth alignment is actually going to give us another trade agreement, which is actually really, really nice. And we'll get 10% income from all sources. And 10 prestige, which is good. Right, so... it looks like we can just starve them out. I think we won't attack. We'll let them come to us. We've got a bigger army. They will have the garrison, but I'm feeling pretty good about that. So once we've taken that, we can then go and take the temple. The temple's actually quite nice because it actually increases satisfaction across your entire empire. It doesn't, from what I remember, it doesn't have a garrison, but I think that might have changed in 8 Princes, so I think it now has a garrison. And basically, it's just, I think this might be the only temple on the entire map. There might be one in the south that I've never seen, but I think it's the only temple. So it's a really nice building to have. Empire-wide effects, gives you some nice... Can we actually see the Grand Temple? There we go. So there we go, 10 satisfaction faction-wide. So that's quite nice. It's quite good. And some prestige to go alongside. So it just makes everyone happier, which is always nice to have. So let's end the turn. And are they going to sally out? You want military access... You will give me money. Oh, in that case, sure.
Your acceptance gives us joy.
And your money gives me joy. Everyone wins. Ah, right, here we go. So it says a Pyrrhic victory. It says we're still going to win, but it looks like they're going to come and fight us anyway. They do have some cavalry, which is going to be a bit of a problem for us to deal with, because we've only got 2 units of cavalry ourselves, but we do have the G militia. So if we can blunt them with our G militia, then we'll be fine. And they've got the garrison as well, but that doesn't look too bad. And we could just delegate it, but I think I'll do better if I fight it, because they currently predict a Pyrrhic victory. I think I can do better from that, but that's going to have to wait until next time. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Sima Yue campaign.